You're sitting at your desk, no telescope, no fancy tools, just a pen and paper. And then, boom, you discover a planet. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that's exactly how Neptune was found. No peeking through telescopes, just pure brainpower. But here's the kicker. It wasn't just any planet. It was a giant icy world hiding in plain sight. How? Let's dive in. Let's start at the very beginning. You've probably heard the story of Sir Isaac Newton and the apple. One day, an apple fell from a tree right in front of him, and he wondered, why did it fall straight down? Why not sideways or upwards? The simple question led him to formulate the universal law of gravitation. According to this law, any two objects in space attract each other. The bigger the object, the stronger its gravitational pull. This is why planets orbit the sun. They're smaller and get pulled by the sun's massive gravity. Even our moon orbits the Earth because of the same force. But here's a fun fact. If the moon stopped moving and just hung there in space, it would crash into the Earth in minutes. Why? Because Earth's gravity would pull it in. The only reason the moon stays in orbit is because of something called centrifugal force. This is the force that pushes the moon outward as it moves. The balance between Earth's gravity and the moon's centrifugal force keeps it in a stable orbit. Now let's fast forward to the year 1840. Back then, the last known planet in our solar system was Uranus. It was discovered in 1781 using a telescope. But something weird was happening with Uranus. Its orbit wasn't following Newton's laws perfectly. At a certain point, it would slightly deviate from its expected path. For 60 years, astronomers around the world studied Uranus, trying to figure out why it wasn't behaving as it should. They knew Newton's laws were correct, so there had to be another explanation. Enter Urbain Le Verrier, a French mathematician. He had a bold idea. Maybe there was another planet out there, pulling Uranus with its gravity. But here's the catch. No one had ever seen this mysterious planet. Le Verrier didn't have a telescope, but he had something even more powerful. His brain. On the night of September 23rd, 1846, he sat down with a pen and paper and started doing some complex mathematical calculations. After crunching the numbers, Le Verrier predicted exactly where this new planet should be. He even calculated its mass, guessing it was similar in size to Uranus. When he published his findings, astronomers at the Berlin Observatory decided to test his theory. Using one of the most powerful telescopes of the time, Dr. Johann Gottfried Galle pointed it at the spot Le Verrier had predicted. At first, he saw nothing but darkness. But after adjusting the focus, he spotted a faint blue dot. It was exactly where Le Verrier said it would be. This new planet was huge, about 4 times the size of Earth. To give you an idea, if Earth were a tennis ball, this planet would be the size of a basketball. It was named Neptune after the Roman god of the sea. But here's a crazy twist. Neptune had actually been seen before, but no one realized it was a planet. The famous astronomer Galileo Galilei had observed it in the early 1600s. He even drew it in his sketches, but he thought it was just a fixed star. That's why Galileo didn't get credit for discovering Neptune. It was all thanks to Le Verrier's calculations. Speaking of Le Verrier, he wanted Neptune to be named after him. But planets and stars are traditionally named after gods, so that idea was shot down. Instead, it was named Neptune, and the name stuck. Now, let's talk about Neptune itself. It's the 8th planet in our solar system and the farthest from the sun. To give you an idea of how far it is, if Earth's distance from the sun is 1 astronomical unit, or AU, Neptune is 30 AU away. That's 30 times farther than Earth. Because of this extreme distance, Neptune is freezing cold. Its temperature hovers around negative 210 degrees Celsius, or negative 346 degrees Fahrenheit. NASA describes it as a gigantic frozen world with constant storms. A single day on Neptune lasts 16 Earth hours, but a year on Neptune equals 165 Earth years. That means if you were born on Neptune, you'd only celebrate your first birthday after 165 Earth years. In 1989, NASA's Voyager 2 spacecraft became the first to fly past Neptune. It captured stunning photos from just 3,000 miles away, giving us our first close-up look at this icy giant. Le Verrier, the man who discovered Neptune using just math, is no longer with us, but his legacy lives on. His tomb in Paris features a model of Neptune, a fitting tribute to his incredible achievement. Now, let's dive into some fun secrets and facts about this mysterious planet. Trust me, this is going to blow your mind. First off, did you know that Neptune has 14 known moons? The largest one is called Triton, and it's pretty unique. Unlike most moons in our solar system, Triton orbits Neptune in the opposite direction of the planet's rotation. Scientists believe this means Triton wasn't originally part of Neptune's system. Instead, it was probably a dwarf planet that got captured by Neptune's gravity. Triton is also one of the coldest places in the solar system, with temperatures dropping to negative 235 degrees Celsius or negative 391 degrees Fahrenheit. But here's the kicker. Despite being so cold, Triton has active geysers that shoot nitrogen gas into space. How cool is that? Another interesting fact about Neptune is its rings. Yes, Neptune has rings. They're not as famous as Saturn's, but they're still pretty amazing. Neptune has 5 main rings, and they're made up of tiny particles of dust and ice. The rings are named after astronomers who made significant contributions to the study of Neptune: Urbain Le Verrier, Lassell, Arago, and Adams. Speaking of atoms, there's a bit of drama in the story of Neptune's discovery. While Le Verrier gets most of the credit, an English mathematician named John Couch Adams was also working on the same problem at the same time. Adams had predicted the position of Neptune independently, but his work wasn't taken as seriously as Le Verrier's. This led to a bit of a rivalry between French and English astronomers. Now, let's talk about Neptune's Great Dark Spot. This is a massive storm system similar to Jupiter's Great Red Spot. When Voyager 2 flew by Neptune in 1989, it captured images of this huge storm. But here's the weird part. When the Hubble Space Telescope looked at Neptune a few years later, the Great Dark Spot was gone. Scientists think these storms might come and go, but they're not entirely sure why. Neptune's atmosphere is another fascinating topic. It's mostly made up of hydrogen, helium, and methane. The methane gives Neptune its beautiful blue color, but it also plays a role in the planet's extreme weather. The methane absorbs red light and reflects blue light, which is why Neptune looks so stunning. But don't let its beauty fool you. Neptune is a wild place. The winds on Neptune are the fastest in the solar system, reaching speeds of 2,000 kilometers per hour, or 1,242 miles per hour. Put that in perspective, the fastest winds on Earth are only about 407 kilometers per hour, or 253 miles per hour. Imagine trying to stand on Neptune during one of those storms. One last fun fact. Neptune's discovery marked the end of an era in astronomy. After Neptune, no new planets were discovered in our solar system until Pluto in 1930. But even Pluto's status as a planet has been debated, and it's now classified as a dwarf planet. That makes Neptune the last true planet discovered in our solar system. When Le Verrier predicted the existence of Neptune, he didn't just prove that Newton's laws were correct. He also showed the power of mathematical prediction. Before Neptune, most discoveries in astronomy were made by observation. But Le Verrier's work proved that you could use math to find things you couldn't even see. This was a huge moment in the history of science. It showed that the universe isn't just a random collection of stars and planets. It's a system that follows rules. And if we can understand those rules, we can predict things that were once thought to be unpredictable. Le Verrier's discovery also had a big impact on the way we think about the solar system. Before Neptune, astronomers thought they knew all the planets. But Neptune's discovery proved that there could be more out there waiting to be found. Of course, Neptune wasn't the end of the story. In 1930, Clyde Tombaugh discovered Pluto, which was considered the 9th planet for many years. But as we've learned more about Pluto, its status has changed. Today, it's classified as a dwarf planet, and Neptune remains the last true planet in our solar system. But the search for new planets hasn't stopped. In recent years, astronomers have discovered thousands of exoplanets, planets that orbit stars outside our solar system. Some of these planets are similar to Earth, and scientists are studying them to see if they could support life. The discovery of Neptune also had a cultural impact. It inspired writers, artists, and thinkers to imagine what other mysteries might be hiding in the universe. From science fiction novels to space exploration missions, Neptune's discovery has left a lasting legacy. And let's not forget about Le Verrier himself. His tomb in Paris features a model of Neptune, a reminder of his incredible achievement. But Le Verrier's legacy isn't just about Neptune. It's about the power of curiosity and the importance of asking questions. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember the story of Neptune. It's a story of how one man's curiosity and determination changed the way we see the universe.